Hey yogis, this is Brittany Bowles coming at you from Magical Yoga Studio in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Today's video is going to be just a really simple run through of Surya Namaskara A or Sun Salutation A. I find that in my practice for years, my downward facing dog was off. I never knew how close together my hands and my feet should be. And it wasn't until pretty late in my practice, probably 7 years of practice, before I realized what that transition through sun salutation ideally would look like. And then that flexation finally came into my shoulders. I was cheating myself out of that for a long time. And this is something I teach here at the studio a lot because I see yogis, even with advanced practices, coming in way too short on their downward facing dog because they're compensating for lack of openness in shoulders. So let's get to it today. For Surya Namaskara A or Sun Salutation A, we start in Tadasana or mountain pose. Our feet are going to stay hip distance apart here. That's about 2 fists placed in between them. And then come on, stand up. I like to give myself a little bit of a roll back, opening my shoulders, spreading my fingers wide. Engage the low belly and the pelvic floor, and the chin is parallel to the earth. Inhale, lift hands and gaze, keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Exhale, open up the arms, keep the back nice and flat as you hinge at the hips and come down for your forward fold. Maybe coming all the way down, the chest comes into the thighs. Inhale, lift, partially up, flatten the back, keep the head and neck in alignment. Exhale, fold forward, place the hands down on the mat, the fingers are spread wide. Walk or hop your feet back to plank position. Here in plank, super important. This is how we're gonna find our down dog. The core is engaged, heels are pressing back, the shoulders are stacked directly over the wrists. Now for chaturanga, if you want to do a correct chaturanga, you're going to keep your belly lifted, tuck the elbows in toward the ribs, come forward and down to about the height of a block, and then inhale, lift, keeping the belly off the ground, keeping the hips off the ground. This is upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back. Glutes are engaged to protect the low back. Maybe lift the chin. And then tighten the glutes, bring the pelvic floor up and in. Use your breath to turn over your toes and lift your hips without shuffling into downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders down the back, away from the ears. Fingers are spread wide, feet are still hip distance apart. And I'm pressing back through my heels. Take 5 deep Ujjayi breaths here. And then look forward at the hands. That wasn't 5 breaths. Look forward at the hands. Shift your weight. If you want to float forward, bend your knees and shift your weight into your hands. Inhale, rock up. All your weight comes onto your hands. And then lightly place your feet down. Flattening the back once more, rising halfway. That's all one breath. Exhale to fold. Bring the chest into the thighs. And inhale. Open up those arms, sweep open, all the way to standing at the hips. Lift, hands and gaze. Exhale, hands into the heart. So it's so hot in the studio right now. That was Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. But I want to break down some of those postures for you a little bit, especially that distance between the hands and feet in downward facing dog. So what we're going to do, feet are hip distance apart here. Fold forward. Plant your hands and come right back into plank. If you hop, just shoot the feet back, or you can step back. Plank, my wrists are directly under my shoulders. My shoulders aren't bunched for my ears, but they're rolled back. The neck is long. My core, my belly tucked in, my thighs are engaged. From here, press back. Don't shuffle the feet. Lift the low belly and rock back into the heels. That's how you find your downward facing dog. Forward into plank, backward into downward facing dog. Maybe you don't have the flexation in your shoulders that I'm demonstrating right now. That's okay. It can look like this. Forward into plank, and maybe you bend your knees and straighten your back. See how your shoulders are allowing your heart to come forward. Open the shoulders up, slide them down the back. The head hangs heavy here, and you're gazing between the thighs. Downward facing dog is not always about getting the heels down to the ground. It's about lengthening the spine, lifting the hips, and allowing the shoulders to open up. But if you do have farther to go, straighten the legs and anchor yourself back into the heels by lifting up the toes just a little bit and pressing back. Big breath here. Look forward at the hands. Inhale. If you're walking forward into your hands, just take a couple of steps. You can keep the knees bent until you land here. Then straighten the legs and lift the spine halfway. Exhale to fold. And inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart. And while we're at Surya Namaskara A, I might as well touch on our chaturanga as well. In chaturanga, so often we're not doing our shoulders any favors because we're coming down too far, or we are not tucking our elbows in. So for chaturanga, again, we're going to start in plank. A great option for chaturanga, if you're not going to do it and you don't have the strength in your core to hold yourself up, drop your knees down, untuck your toes, and then bring your elbows into your ribs as you move forward and down, all the way down to lay the belly. That's your option for chaturanga. Or if you want to do it from plank and keep the belly lifted to work on your strength and flexation, come into plank here. Keep the hands and feet where they are. Tuck the elbows in. Again, we're moving forward and down. And right when your elbows become level with your back, this is your chaturanga. The belly never comes down. Then you press into upward facing dog and back into downward facing dog for 5 deep breaths. Remember to keep the shoulders open. Remember to anchor back through the heels. And then when you're ready, look forward at the hands. Maybe this time you're going to float forward. Bend your knees. Transfer your weight up into the palms of your hands. Look forward. Inhale. Lift and gently place down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to heart. Well, I have already worked up a sweat here. The studio is probably 80-something degrees. I turned the fans off so you could hear me. Woo, sweaty practice today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you don't know this about me already, I do have my own website, www.brittanyboles.com. You can find memes, pictures, my private services that I can do from anywhere in the world, Reiki and intuitive healing. And I also am a public speaker and trying to get my first book published. So, spread the word. Thanks so much, and I will see you soon.